how's it going? Hope all of you have been doing well during this crazy change of life events for all of us. I'm back here working on the Stout again. Finally kind of have some time from school and work that I can spend some time working on this. So when we left off last time, I was grinding down that front caliper to get the wheels to fit, and I thought I was going to need a spacer, but I was able to come out here a couple weeks ago and reevaluate a little bit, and I just had to take off a little more material on the caliper, and now the wheel fits fine. So it actually looks really good. I was able to just give the caliper a quick coat of paint so it wouldn't rust where I ground it down, but I was able to go drive the truck around before the tire went flat, and the brakes worked great. So that's going to be a definite win for this. So I guess if you have a 3rd gen 4runner and you want to put these wheels on your 4runner, as long as you have the smaller discs, I think the later models had some bigger discs, you can just grind down the calipers and get the wheels to fit. So I still need to do this side. I've been kind of lazy on getting around to that, but it's coming along. I was playing around with the wiring a lot off camera just because I feel like that's such a boring thing to do. So now everything's wired in. We have the rear brakes, brake switch working to turn on the rear brake lights, although that stuff's all disconnected right now. And I've got the tail lights working, and they're all wired in. Headlights and brights are wired in, and the turn signals are all wired in. So all the lights are working now, and they're all wired in. You can see all the wiring's all kind of hanging down right now. But what I've been doing now is figuring out a nice bracket to mount that wiring up underneath the dash, as well as making a bracket that I can hang the secondary portion of the steering column with, since it's not direct connected to the steering box like the Stout steering column was. I needed a secondary support, so that's what that piece is there. And I've also been working on putting a little cover in for this section of the transmission tunnel cover. So that's what I've got kind of laid out right here on this barrel. That's the mocked up piece. I need to do a little bit more work of it, and then I'll get that tacked in here and get that other piece tacked in up under the dash, get that bracket I made tucked in or tacked in, so that I think all the kind of general welding in the interior will be done after this. So I also managed to get the bolts into the chassis, so now the body mounts are all connected too. So we have, for the cab, we have 5 body mounts, and well, there'll actually be a total of 7 once these brackets I get figured out with the frame that connect the body to the bed to the frame down here. So that's our next thing to figure out after we get the interior kind of finished welding. I still need to make the brackets for the Mustang seats, so I just have the one sitting out over here right now. You know, I don't really care too much about them because I'll be covering them eventually, but you know, the project coming right along. So appreciate you guys following along, and hopefully this will give you something to do while we're all kind of stuck at home. Well, yeah, I'll give you an update here once I get that transmission tunnel section all figured out and tacked in. Hey guys, it's a new day here, and wanted to share the finished product of the transmission tunnel work we had done the other day. So as you can see there, it's all in its place and welded up, and the little boot cover there, I bent that a little bit to meet with the tunnel a little bit better now. Still need to drill some holes in there and maybe put in some rib nuts or weld in some nuts so that I can attach that easily and detach it easily as well. I still need to weld up the steering column mount. That's right. I think it's somewhere right in there. And get the made a little bracket for the wiring harness I need to weld into. So I hope to get to that today. Also off camera, I took the bed and jacked it up a little bit and cut a wood block to simulate where I wanted it to sit in the front. Now the back still needs to be fixed, but the front is pretty close to where it needs to be. You could see there's a little bit of difference in the gap there, but I'll be able to fix that as I get the brackets all figured out. So I dropped the gas tank, which is over here. That way I can weld the brackets onto the frame without having to worry about the gas tank at all. So I think on this side you can see I have that bracket kind of in there right now with the chunk of wood, and